Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is TKF, or TheTenkaiChiFighter. Some of you guys may have heard of me, some of you guys may have not. But anyway, I'm a great friend of Artem's. Always have loads of chats with him out on Skype. Really good mates. He's such a boss. Ignore the artwork. I just really couldn't think of anything else to do, so I put a little heart, sharing my love for the man. He is my son with the Thunderbolt and Anyway, I'm gonna be bringing you guys my first narrated battle in a very long time. I'm hoping to make a return. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into it. All right, here we go. So, haven't battled in a while, like I said, haven't narrated in a while, so maybe a little bit rusty, but I will do my best for subscribers of Mefesto, because he's a legend. Anyway, here you can see quite a defensive team, defensive Rose Raid, defensive Dusclops, defensive Zapdos, Deoxys, it's all defense everywhere, so it's going to be a pretty long match, bear with me. Anyway, Artem's going to go ahead and lead out with the Rose Raid. I believe the opponent's going to do the same as he does. Now, unless there's a speed tie here, the opponent's Rose Raid is going to be faster. If not, Mefesto is going to lose the speed tie, which really sucks. And his opponent's actually going to make a very clever move right now, taking Natural Cure into account. He's going to go for the Sleep Powder again, which is quite clever, catching his Dusclops as it comes in. You often expect people to do this, although they never really do. But anyway, manages to catch Mefesto off here. Going to be able to put his Dusclops to sleep and safely bring in his Raikou. That does kind of suck. There's not really much that Artem can do now apart from switch, so he's going to switch into possibly his bulkiest Pokemon here, which is going to be Defense Deoxys, obviously boasting a massive special defense, and HP stats not too bad either at 3 or 4. So Mefesto's going to go for the taunt here. So after seeing the sub, that usually means that he's going to be carrying the Calm Mind on that set as well. So it's definitely good to get that taunt off. Raikou's just going to go for the Thunderbolt. It's stab, it's his best option, but because Deoxys is so bulky, it's going to be able to take that really well. And he's going to be able to retaliate with Psychic there, so that's definitely going to break the sub anyway. Stab, regardless of being invested. Deoxys does pack quite a punch anyway, which is always nice. So now he is going to withdraw his Raikou, is going to go out into his Flygon. Deoxys is going to set up the spikes, maybe Mefesto predicting the switch there. Either or, good play. Raikou couldn't really do anything, and getting up spikes is obviously going to be beneficial later on. So, judging by this Flygon having U-turn, that usually means that it's going to be choiced in some way, and Scarf Flygons are actually probably more common now than anything else, so just something to bear in mind. Going to U-turn out into the Hitmontop now though, just going to let another layer of spikes. Going to be racking up some damage on whatever wants to come in. Entry hazards are key to victory in games, it really does help you out. So, Mefesto's going to withdraw Deoxys now. He's going to want to switch out into his Dusclops, just because, obviously he is immune to the fighting type hits. And was that a double switch, or was that just unpredictable switching? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, nice double switch there by the opponent. So, brings in Raikou on the sleeping Dusclops. Really a nice play on GiantGarchomp's part, because that means that he does get a free sub or a free Calm Mind now, whichever he wants to go for. He actually decides to go for a sub, which is fine. Mefesto could have brought Deoxys in to again hit him with the taunt, and that would have blocked him Calm Minding, whereas now he's going to be able to go for it. Some Zapdoses do carry the Roar or whatever they usually carry. Roar. So he's going to be able to phase him out anyway, which is a good play on his part. Obviously had that plan. Going to roar the opponent out into a Snorlax. These can kind of be a problem, mainly because most of them tend to have the Resto set, the Resto Chesto, and that really does suck. I guess Artem's just going to switch it now to Deoxys, because it's really the best thing that can take the hit, and he doesn't want his Zapdos getting paralysed from a body slam, which, as we know, paras all of the time, and gets a crit here on the Deoxys as it switches in. Now that really does hinder Deoxys, because obviously it's a wall, it's meant to wall things. But he's got the recover on the set, which is fine, going to be able to get back 50% of his hit points, which is great. Unfortunately, Snorlax is going to be able to sit up here and just keep cursing, and cursing, and cursing, and cursing. Which is not ideal, because if it is a Resto Chesto set, then obviously it can just rest off any damage, and then I'll wake up with the Chesto straight away, so that does prove a bit of a problem. But as we saw earlier, this Deoxys does indeed have the taunt, so he's going to be able to go for that. I'm not really sure why GiantGarchomp's trying to set up here if Deoxys has already revealed the taunt. It's kind of silly. So now Snorlax is pretty much forced to attack Deoxys, while Deoxys can take these hits pretty damn well. He's going to be able to set up more layers of spikes and do some other useful shit. But I'm going to take that body slam. Like I said, para kicking in here, that's unfortunate, although Deoxys is slow anyway, so he's not really going to mind it. So Mefesto's going to switch out now into Dusclops, because he's going to be immune to that body slam. Obviously a good play. And now he's going to switch out again to Zapdos, probably predicting the switch into Raikou, because Raikou will be able to take advantage of him being asleep. So unfortunately the Taunt Resolve here is going to be able to set up another curse, which is unfortunate. That switch didn't work out for Mefesto really well. Now Zapdos is going to get hit by a Body Slam as well, and I believe that's at like +2 or maybe 3. And we get the Para, which is incredibly unfortunate. But going to be able to roar him out anyway, unless that was his intention, you know, to bring in the Zapdos just to roar him out, which would have been a viable play either way. So in comes the Swampert, not good because they generally tend to carry the Ice Beam these days. So he's going to want to switch out, going to Bronzong, who would soak up that Ice Beam really well. Just decides to go for Stealth Rocks though, which is kind of unfortunate. That's definitely going to hinder some of Mefesto's Pokemon, including Zapdos, obviously. But Swampert's going to go for the Scald now on the Bronzong, I guess just fishing for some residual damage there with the burn. But perfect opportunity to lay up rocks. I mean, there's not really much that a Swampert can do to a Bronzong unless it's heat proof. It's going to be able to take hits all the day, every day, so that's fine. Going to switch out the Swampert now though. I'm going to bring in the Flygon again. I'm still assuming this is choice. Going to go for the grass, not. That would have worked out really well. 4 times super effective on the Swampert, being part ground, part water. Fortunately, going to switch. And again, going for the U-turn here, it really does kind of, you know, it's screaming choice right now. It really can't be anything else. He's going to use that and go out into his Snorlax now, which is fine. Bronzong can't really do much to a Snorlax. It really doesn't have very many offensive moves. I mean, it generally tends to carry Earthquake, Jarable, some other moves that are kind of weird, include Hypnosis, Stealth Rock, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, definitely going to want to get out there. Like I said, not much he can do to that now. So he's going to want to go out into Hitmontop. Now that can be for many reasons, first of which is obviously going to scare him out with the stab. He also has priority available to him. Not sure if he's running it on this particular set. I haven't actually seen this battle yet, so it's possible that he has the Mach Punch. If not, he probably is carrying the Close Combat, which will wreck that Snorlax. Even a +1, I think it would still take it out. Maybe predicting a switch here, or just thinking he can definitely take at least one hit. Mefesto is going to go for the Rapid Spin just to clear his side of any entry hazards. That means now he can bring in his Zapdos freely as and when he wants to and doesn't have to worry about rocks, which is great. Got the lefties here on the Hitmontop, which does kind of suggest a slightly more bulky set, which is actually kind of good for dealing with the Snorlax. So the opponent's going to switch out now and bring in Roserade again. Roserade can be a bit of a problem because it can sponge hits fairly well. It is kind of bulky. As you see, it takes that stab close combat pretty damn well. And now Mefesto is -1 in you know, all of the stats and stuff. Well, the important ones, you know, D and Special D. Not all of them, sorry, out of practice. So now he's going to switch out his Hitmontop, going to bring in his own Roserade just in case he wants to go for any grass stabs, which he does decide to do, so that is definitely a great play on Mefesto's part. Going to be able to wall this Roserade pretty much. Now, I don't know if anything's asleep at this point in time, but if it's not, then it does give him the chance to go for it, and it is a speed tie. As you see here, this Roserade is going to outspeed the opponents this time and manage to put it to sleep, which is great. So now the opponent's most likely going to switch, so Sleep Powdering would be good. Yeah, that was a good play on Mefesto's part. Unfortunately, GiantGarchomp1 saw that come in, decided to leave his Roserade in to just kind of scout that, I guess. So Mefesto's going to let up some Toxic Spikes now. He's got Rocks up already, so that's obviously, yeah, and a few layers of Spikes, I believe, so that's definitely going to be racking up in the entry hazard there. So that's going to really hinder the Pokemon that want to come in later, such as the Snorlax, and if you can get that thing poisoned, that's absolutely great, because that means he has to keep resting more often. So now Giant's going to switch out his Roserade, go out into his Flygon. Going to go for the Sleep Powder, predicting the switch, which is absolutely lovely. Manages to catch up Flygon, which is actually really nice. Because Flygons, if it is choice, it could do some serious damage, and we don't know its moveset yet, really. We've only seen U-turn from it, so that's kind of scary. Anyway, he's going to switch back now into his Roserade, as Mefesto is going to lay up some more Toxic Spikes here. This is quite a stally match, but it's going to lay up another layer here. Okay, that will be it. That will be all of the layers. Roserade's going to go for Aromatherapy here just to wake up his Flygon. Now that's kind of dangerous because, like I said, its choice can come back in. It can take things out. We don't know its moveset, so really quite a threat. So he's going to bring in his Swampert now on a Roserade, which is kind of risky. I'm not really sure what he was going for there. I mean, that's just kind of a bad matchup. But unfortunately, the Toxic Spikes are actually going to work out not so well for Mefesto because it does block the Sleep Powder, because the Swampert obviously getting poisoned on the way in. But the Roserade's going to be able to take it out with a 4 times super effective Stab Giga Drain anyway. It had absolutely no chance whatsoever. So that will take that out. Now the opponent's going to go ahead and bring in his Flygon again. Again, we've only seen U-turn, and here he's going to reveal Outrage. Now this could be Banded, it could be Scarf, who knows. Judging by the damage, I want to go ahead and say that's Scarf. I think that Banded Outrage would probably take a Roserade out, but I'm not really sure. So I haven't done this in a while, so I'm not really too sure about in-head damage counts. But anyway, Artem's definitely going to want to get out there to save his Rosary Raid for later. Going to bring in his Bronzong, knowing that his opponent's locked in on Outrage. Obviously, Bronzong's going to be able to deal with that really well, which he does. He does take it super well. Obviously, got the lefties as well, so that's going to contribute to residual healings and whatnot. So here he's probably just going to go for anything to finish off the Flygon. He does indeed carry the Gyro Ball, which is great. That is going to be able to take out the Flygon from that range. Especially if the Flygon is scarfed, obviously Gyro Ball will be doing a hell of a lot more damage, which is great. So Flygon's down now. He's going to go ahead and bring in the Snorlax. I'm not really too sure what this thing can do other than set up, and I think really poisoned. I think Bronzong's going to be able to deal with it, but Mefesto is going to switch out now and go out into Hitmontop anyway. He does probably have the fighting type priority, so he's going to be able to take Mite. Unfortunately, he's going to rest on the switch, which is kind of a good play, because saying that, he probably could have lived one hit from a Bronzong, so that's a good play on his part. But this is going to be a bit of a problem, unless he does carry the Stab Close Combat, which should do around 60%, I think. It depends how invested he is. Unfortunately, he's going to get struck by Para first turn, which is incredibly hideous. Absolutely hideous. And it doesn't appear to have the Chesto Berry on that set, so I'm guessing it's not Resto Chesto. That's kind of strange. But anyway, going to hit him with that CC, and it does, like I said, do around about 60, 65, 70%, which is a really good number. I don't think that would be invested. I think that would kind of be more of a defensive set there, but either way it works out well. Snorlax is just going to go for the Body Slam, already paralyzed, so we don't have to worry about that, and unfortunately you get fully paralyzed again, which is kind of predictable. I mean, this kind of things happen all the time in pokes. It's like when it says 30% chance, it means 90. But it's going to hit him again with another Body Slam. We'll see if we get through the power this turn. We do. And that means that the close combat will be enough to finish off this Snorlax from that range, seeing as I did do, like I said, 60 to 70% last time, which is great. So he's going to be able to take that down. Half HP, that should be enough to take a hit from anything that wants to come in, depending on what it is. Raikou, it should be able to take a T-Bolt from there if it is a slightly bulkier set. You can see the damage that the Raikou took upon coming in off all the entry hazards. That is why they play such a very big part in this game. Unfortunately, he's going to get paralyzed here on assuming what would have been priority. And Raikou's going to hit him with a T-Bolt, and it does manage to take out the Hitmontop, which is really unfortunate. If he'd have been able to get off that priority, that would have probably taken... I was going to call it Entei then because of his name. Would have taken Raikou out. But anyway, he knows he can just bring in his Bronzong now. He should be able to soak up 1 or 2 hits from this Raikou here. It's going to be able to take 1. Going to be able to finish it off with an Earthquake, no doubt. Obviously, with it being part electric, it's going to be weak to... Well, with it being electric type, it's going to be weak to ground type moves such as Earthquake. And even though it's not Stab and it's coming from Bronzong, it's going to be enough to take it out. So, now he's going to go into his Hitmontop. I believe this may have been the first time we've seen it this match, or the second. Not too sure. Poisoned upon coming in, which is great, residual damage and all that. Bronzong's going to need to switch now, so Mefesto's going to switch out into Dusclops, who will be able to wall this Hitmontop pretty damn well. Obviously, it resists its stab, as you can see. And this is a good opportunity for him to just wait it out, I guess, and just wake up Dusclops and just start doing it. But the opponent's going to run, so that will be the game. I'm sorry I kind of ramble on and may have made a tiny few mistakes here and there. Like I said, this is my first battle that I've narrated in a really long time, and I'm so excited to be getting back into it. And for Artem to give me an opportunity to upload to his channel, you know, as I come back is really good. So I really appreciate that, dude. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave likes and comments on the video for Mefesto. Please leave him some feedback. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. And it's been TheTenkaiChiFighter here. Feel free to come check me out, I guess, if you want. And I'll catch you guys later.